Excuse me.
Oh,
excuse me. We're part, whatever of yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
Hello, friends.
Thank you for giving me a little in my mouth, a little like a little.
Sorry, I can't help it. I mean,
good thing we live together, huh?
I know, right? Your face is a little red too, there, Missy. I don't know what that's all about. But okay, whatever.
So, I thought that I would assist all of us in getting in touch with our inner child. Our inner child. And I want each of us to talk about what it was, let's say, between the ages of 5 and 10 years old, that it was what we wanted to be when we were adults.
I wanted to be an actress.
And so tell us about that. Tell us, like, what was it that you saw or did or that made you think that?
Probably it was, okay, when I was little, like 3 to 9-ish, I used to spend most of the month of August every year in Spain. My grandmother had a house in Spain. It was really cool. And I didn't understand any of the television in Spain. Like even Sesame Street was in Spanish, and like you just couldn't. I just couldn't. So of the very few records, the one that I just loved, in addition to Neil Diamond and Juice Newton, you know, the things that you listen to when you're little.
What? Neil Diamond. One record?
Was My Fair Lady, the original Broadway cast recording of My Fair Lady.
With a little Julie Andrews.
With a little Julie Andrews.
No, everybody loves little Julie Andrews.
Oh, we do.
Who doesn't love a little Julie Andrews?
Blake Edwards likes Julie.
Well, you know what's interesting is you say that. I find not to interrupt you, but my guess is that of the very few people that actually are watching this, I think there's a very even fewer percentile actually who probably even not knows who Julie Andrews is. I think people know who Julie Andrews is, but knows the sheer talent that Julie Andrews is.
She was a prodigy. She was sort of the Charlotte Church of her time.
Yeah.
And then by the time that she, was cast in things, she had already made her mark as this prodigy, as this, she already had a very adult voice when she was 12.
It's very funny.
With a fantastic range.
It's very funny because there are probably very few people watching this that actually know the caliber of Julie Andrews outside of The Sound of Music
and the Mary Poppins.
Right. And the Mary Poppins.
Right.
Truly amazing.
Yeah.
Truly amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I, when I was little, that was the person that I.
So you sort of credit, in a way, Julie Andrews.
Yeah,
but that's very interesting.
I wanted a voice like Julie Andrews, and then of course when I
who has no voice.
Right, exactly. Like I went through a period of time when I really didn't have much of a voice either, and I made a joke to a friend of mine from home that I had always wanted Julie Andrews' voice. I just didn't think it would be granted me. At the time that I lost my voice, she lost her voice. So I didn't think, I didn't think that God would grant me that at that point.
It's coming.
Yeah. Well, no, it's I feel like I've gotten my voice back. I don't know the current status of Julie's voice, but
so you've honestly
not completely back, but much more so than at the time that I made the crack.
So honestly, you've always wanted to be an actress, even as a little girl.
Yeah.
Little child.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. You say that, and I don't know that I knew what I wanted to do.
And then strangely now I'm not doing.
But you should be. But so that's a completely different video blog.
That we can.
Yeah, that's a different one too.
I'm prepared for that.
Yeah. That's the beat you down blog.
Yeah.
I don't think I knew what I wanted to be when I grew up. I don't think I had this idea. I was an only child. I still am an only child.
Me too. Anyway,
well,
sharing.
So I was sort of.
Bobby.
I was raised as an only child.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have four. 4 brothers, 4 biological brothers, and 2 adopted brothers, but I always lived on my own. I was
Okay.
my father's only child.
Which is
Okay.
interesting that all three of us sort of
Basically
have kind of like a similar background, right?
Yeah.
In a very weird way.
Yeah.
But so you probably understand, I was very sort of like unto myself. I had my own imagination, I had my own room, in my own space with my own toys that led to my own sort of creativity. And I don't know that I was ever thinking about what the future was. I was just sort of wrapped up in my own world, my own sort of like created world. Good, bad, and I also sort of feel like we all kind of come from like a struggling sort of background. Like we don't have the best upbringing, like the
We're not only children because our very rich parents, you know.
Right, decided to
Mom
have
and
just the one.
Right.
And then
we're only children because
various reasons.
Absolutely.
And I find that sort of fascinating. So I think, you know, because of that, we sort of like pushed into ourselves, and like, you know, we are each creative individually in our own ways, and I think that spawns from that because you're sort of forced to be creative. Like,
I had a very, very active, very full personality imaginary friend.
Well, my grandmother used to say.
I still remember his name.
My grandmother used to say that she could put me in the backyard with a pile of rocks and I'd be entertained for hours.
Yeah.
That's just what you did.
Yeah.
Like as a, you know what I mean, like as you did. So as growing up, I never ever sort of thought about like what I was gonna be. I went into college with this anticipation of what I thought I should be, but that ended up being something completely different, obviously. But I don't know that I ever really thought about it as a kid as like, this is what I'm gonna be.
There wasn't anything that you ever saw on television or that you were like, wow, that would be cool, or...
No, I wanted to be out of Rising Sun, Maryland.
Well, that is a full-time job.
That is a full, yeah.
Well, you know, and it's very...
Wanted to be a matador.